This is called The Problem with DC's Heroes. Let's go!
Just has the worst heroes. Or at least that's what the public thinks.
Are you more of a Marvel guy or?
What do you mean? I literally think DC has some of the best heroes ever, bruh. Come on. To be fair, I'm not a huge fan of the concept of superheroes, like, not having powers. Like, okay, I get the whole thing of like, oh, if you're a superhero without powers, then that means like anyone can be a super. I get it, but I don't know, there's just something about seeing superhuman people actually having powers that I find very cool, because it's like, oh, it's their abilities, you know. It's cool. All right, what's the
Let's start
difference?
by saying I actually love
I love the Flash, bro.
DC's
I love the
characters and the
Flash.
stories that they're in. Most of my comic library is made up of DC comics.
I'm
While
not
I
a
do
huge
prefer
comic
Marvel,
person. Like, I
most
don't
people
really
do nowadays,
collect
there was a
comics,
time
but
when
I
did
do
not
like
feel that way.
DC.
Really, I think Marvel's been represented very well in media, and
Oh yeah, by the way, this is kind of an oldish video.
that's the key.
DC straight breeds a bunch of sociopaths and social menaces.
Media
Bro, that's what makes it fun.
representation outside of novels can shape public opinion about comic book characters.
No, I've never
The
seen that
biggest
one,
problem with
sorry.
DC superheroes is that they are misrepresented in popular media. There. That's the whole video. I'm done. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
But no, seriously.
Fortnite
I'm gonna try to
dance.
Explain this a little deeper because it's kind of a big problem. Public perception of superheroes is important to the integrity of the character. If you change a concept about Batman, people are gonna think that's how things are supposed to be. You know how just a few years ago people thought Spider-Man's webs came out of his fucking body? Oh god, it's so nasty. Just because the general public was told that in a movie. If you told any of those normies back then that shooting webs is not actually one of Spider-Man's powers, they would look at you like, what? Excuse me? Fact is that movies and shows shape public perception about these characters. Most people think the Fantastic Four are
Guy made some jokes because of it,
Damn fool! You're more useless than Aquaman.
and everybody
Bro,
made some jokes
Aquaman's
because
cool.
of it.
He's literally a waterbender that could communicate to fish. Like, what do you want? You have a heart? Yeah. It's yours.
Everybody thought Aquaman was a fucking
Naku.
goofball because that's how he was Ever since then, there's been what I like to
that.
call
She's
the
like,
Aquaman restoration plan, where writers try every conceivable idea to try and make him cool. That's why they pick this big, cool, badass.
Except that Aquaman is no, Aquaman is cool, bro. Not Aquaman's cool. He's literally a waterbender. I don't
handsome,
like
dothraki guy
waterbenders
play
are
him.
cool. I don't know
You know the
what
joke
to
about him
say.
talking to fish in the movie?
I hear you can talk to fish.
That joke has been told in comic books, in cartoons, in video games.
Heck yeah.
Scarab says you talk to fish.
I'm sick of that
Heck
fucking
yeah.
joke. It's not funny anymore.
Come
Oh,
on,
by the
wouldn't you
way,
wanna
he can't
talk to
even
a
talk
fish?
He sends
Bro, only power is breathing underwater and talking. No, bro, literally, his power is water bending. He's a water bender. Seaman. No, he's a water bender, guys. He's a water
things
bender.
to their brain.
He
They, like,
literally has all
convince
the
them to do
abilities
shit
water
for him.
benders do.
If you talk to the fish.
You know, yes, eventually he can.
Movies and TV are just insanely more popular than comic books. Comics
Heck
are
yeah.
a niche medium. They are a cult medium. It's sad, but it's
I love
true. People don't like to fucking read,
superhero
okay?
cartoons.
Most people don't fucking bother because it's easier to watch a movie or a show. So when you
Bro,
change
that was
ideas
cool.
about
That was really
superhero in
cool.
a show or a movie, and those ideas become popular, it bleeds into the comic books and the games. It creates this weird parasitic circle, but I'll get into that a little later. First, let's talk about TV shows. I remember
TV.
a little while ago, people were saying,
TVBD.
yeah, Marvel movies are better, but DC has better
The only Marvel movie I ever watched was Black Panther. That was because a group of friends were like wanting me to go. It was okay, but I feel like a big appeal of it was from it being on a big screen, because like literally if I'm in a movie theater, I literally think most of the movies like get 10 times better. Like just off of the fact that it's like surround sounds and I'm like the screen is so big. Bro's powers is practically useless on land, except bro, literally water bending. Everything has water in it. I don't understand why y'all are creating this backwards narrative, and I won't have it.
Fun fact, Superman's actor had a mustache and they had to digitally shave it from the movie.
Honestly, like if you spend time growing that thing, if it's hard to actually like grow a mustache, honestly, I could see why.
I can see why.
He wouldn't want to shave it off.
Right? They were mainly referring to Arrow and Flash when that came out. But then Marvel came out with this fucking sleeper hit over here.
Bro can't dehydrate a human, then it's useless. No cap. Bro, literally, you could make water like slicers with the water. You could flood someone. You could like just like shove a bunch of water into someone's breathing tubes and suffocate them. Like literally, the possibilities are endless. And the fact that like, nah, y'all are sleeping on Aquaman.
The killer second season and a few decent spin-offs, and no, not you. Not you. I know there are a lot of people
Well,
out
was
there
that
who like
Constantine?
Flash and Arrow and shows like that, but
Dehydrating someone is more useful. No, bro, it's literally not. It's literally not, bro. No.
honestly, they're just cheesy CW dramas with crummy
I
acting,
tried watching
bad
The Flash,
direction,
and it was
but
like
an
a hard
engaging soap
experience
opera
for
story
me
structure.
because
I'm not saying that last part in a bad way.
I don't like I'm not a huge fan of like CW shows. The only CW show I think I really like well, like not really like, but the only one I enjoyed a lot was Once Upon a Time. I like that show, and I know a bunch of people call it strange and weird now, but like back when it was airing, it was pretty cool. Come on, what a water blade gonna do? It's gonna slice people, guys. It's gonna slice people. Naku is. I'm literally not a simp for him. I'm just defending someone that can't fight back. So I am Aquaman's defense lawyer. Flash was hard to watch, not gonna lie. I tried watching episode 1, and then like I could never finish it. Flash wasn't too bad for the first few seasons in my opinion. Like I do think like there was a lot of stuff that it did really well. It's just like,
Okay, the thing is, like, I don't like the lighting in a lot of these CW shows. Like,
and a lot of the like, look at this, it's so dark there, and then like even during the daytime it has very like washed out colors, and I like things colorful. Like guys, literally look at me. I'm a rainbow right now.
People like these shows because the plot is laid out much like a soap opera. But
Yeah,
that's
you
also
see,
the
like,
appeal of
look, all of this lighting is so dark,
comic
bro.
books.
Like, I don't
However,
like
Daredevil
that.
showed people that comic book superhero
See, this is a daytime scene. It's so dark and murky. It's like, bro,
shows. Can
not gonna lie,
actually be
not
good
me.
Shows, not
The first 2 episodes of Daredevil contain some of my favorite storytelling in television from the past few years. I can't even stomach a single episode of Arrow. So even though people enjoy these shows, which is fine, I think there are definitely worse shows to enjoy out there, they still aren't considered good shows anymore. Marvel beat them again, just like how they beat them with movies. And the reason they beat them in the movie department is because the guys who make these movies and these shows know their shit. The people making
these new DC movies. They don't
Zack
get it,
Snyder.
okay? And if they don't get it, then neither does the general public.
You
I have a
don't
very
get it.
strong hypothesis about
the people who direct and create the DC movies. I'm convinced that most directors don't read more than a few comics to prepare for the movie. I think that when a movie director looks at Batman, they're like, okay, I get it. I don't need to read all this other shit because I understand Batman. Who doesn't? I mean, look at
The
Tim Burton
Batmobile
Batman
lost
movie.
its way and the
That
Joker
shit
got
isn't
away.
even
Hey!
comprehensible from a comic book standpoint. He just made his own shit up.
Erie, do you like more DC heroes or more Marvel heroes? The only Marvel hero I like is Spider-Man. Like I like all the Spider-Man, but like I don't know, I could jive with Iron Man. I never watched the Iron Man movie, but like I've seen clips of his character, so like I could jive with him, but it's just like DC has my heart more. It's because I grew up with it. And like also I think the heroes are a lot cooler. I don't know, for me it's just like, okay, Captain America, his whole thing is like he has a shield. It's like, well, the shield's doing all the work. If you take away the shield, then like DC characters, it's always like, oh,
this character is the main character because, like, they're the only ones that can do this job. But then, like, with Marvel, it's like,
oh, well, like if any, like, and I know like the shield or Thor's hammer, like, it has to choose the person, but it's just like, so like once like, you know, Thor dies or once Captain America dies, it's like, oh, then it just moves on to another one. It's like, I don't know, that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Superman is also mid. His weakness is a damn green rock. Bruh, no, bruh. Superman's cool, bruh. Superman's cool. I think you're giving him way too much flack right now. Here, like that, I think that's also one of the reasons why I like Spider-Man, because yeah, his web shooters like are a device he uses, but on the other hand, he does have powers of his own. He has like super strength and like spidey senses.
It's not
All
based on
right,
anything.
back to
Look at the old
ideas about who Superman is, but it doesn't really go any deeper than that. Again, they're just making shit up because they figured they understood the gist of it. But I guess it's not really fair to talk about these older movies because they were pioneers. They kind of created these genres all on their own, so they have a little more leeway, right? Well, let's talk about The Dark Knight then. This is like another thing that I really don't like about
A bunch of the newer stuff that like DC has been doing, not just DC, but like a lot of movies in general, is that they make things just like so desaturated and stuff.
But I don't know, I just feel like having more like better lighting and stuff, it just would make a film or something of this nature just so much better. Especially like since superhero stuff, like in my mind, I feel like superhero stuff isn't
Supposed to be dark. Like the whole concept of a superhero is supposed to be like a pretty light concept overall. Yes, it can have dark aspects of it, like, you know, and you could go into different themes and stuff, but it's just like overall, a superhero movie, in my opinion, should be a hopeful story in general. Well, whatever it is, like, even if it's not a film or whatever the media is, I feel like if it's this, unless if you're Invincible, because I feel like Invincible could get away with a lot more stuff just because it was, like, established as, like, a more, like, morally gray show with, like, it's supposed to be a deconstruction of superhero genre, which is, like, good. Well, like, that's why I feel like it could get away with having like darker stuff, but like stuff like Superman and like Batman and like all that stuff, I genuinely believe that all those heroes, all those stories are supposed to be a story of hope overall. So I don't know, that's my 2 cents on the matter. So yeah, it doesn't need to be light all the way through, but it has to be like a hopeful story. There has to be like some light in the darkness, and I just feel like a bunch of these filmmakers just they like making the darkness, but they hate putting in the light, or they'll like, you know. But yeah, that, I don't know.
Read The Long Halloween, The Killing Joke,
The
Dark Knight
Killing
Returns,
Joke.
and Year One. Now I know what you're thinking. And Lego Batman.
Lego Batman.
These two
Oh, I never watched the Lego movie, like any Lego movies, but I heard that they're really good, so I would like to watch it.
stories that we haven't seen before. The Arkham games go that extra mile to show ideas that are from more obscure stories, and this makes the series stand out more. Likewise for Lego Batman, but obviously in a lighter way. I'm using this as another example because A, I want to show how a loving adaptation can show different sides of a character and present a completely new story, and B, not enough people have seen this movie.
Yeah, including me. We need to watch this.
The most faithful Batman movie ever made, period. It's also actually funny. Like, it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
I've seen you go through similar phases in
2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997, 1995, 1992,
The nipples,
1989,
no!
and that weird one in 1966.
So why am I even ranting about this idea? Because Marvel does it all the time. They take
That's
this
awesome,
reference
bro.
material and then
they make an entirely new experience based on it. Oh hey, what comics are we going to use for the new Thor movie? I don't know, let's take some of the grand scale epic fights from Thor God of Thunder. Let's take some of the comedic elements from Thor the Mighty Avenger. And let's just throw in some Planet Hulk, just to be safe. Planet Hulk. What was that last part? Where did you get that from? You can just tell that the writers making these stories have a pretty good idea of how the source material works. They know the stories inside and out, and as such they can craft unique movies. Spider-Man Homecoming is not based on any Spider-Man comic. As someone who happens to know his shit, I can tell when the creator does.
I wanted to watch the Spider-Man Andrew Garfield ones just because not gonna lie, I kind of just want to watch them just to see Gwen Stacy die. Not because I like seeing characters die, but just because it's like, again, coming from someone who watched Spectacular Spider-Man, like Gwen was a very like prominent character in that story, so it's, I think it'd be cool to see like such a prominent character like completely die, you know.
Or doesn't. When Batman starts shooting people and killing them, then I get the idea that maybe someone doesn't understand the point of The Dark Knight Returns. And with that,
Yeah, it was Batman's dad that it was Bruce Wayne's dad that used a gun. I should know because I watched that movie. I watched the Flashpoint movie recently.
Zack Snyder doesn't understand the point of Batman or Superman. Let's start
Get
with Superman.
out of
since I've
here,
already
Zack
bitched about
Snyder,
Batman a lot so far.
boo.
I'm pretty
The
biased,
Snyder
I'm not
cut.
gonna lie. Man of Steel and Batman v Superman are a mess because Zack Snyder has no idea how these characters work. And since movies and TV dictate how people view these characters, now the public doesn't understand these characters either. How often when people say, I think Superman's really dumb, I'm just not that into Superman. I'd say that
Bro,
most
Superman's
people probably have
cool.
this
Y'all
opinion.
can't convince me
But guess what?
otherwise. Superman's
If
so
you've actually
cool.
read a Superman comic, you'll see that Superman
Or just
is
watch
nothing
the
movie
Justice
Superman.
League
He's actually
Unlimited
fucking
series.
cool.
Like,
In the
they made
movies,
him
he's
so
shown to be
cool.
this
He's so
emotionless,
cool.
godlike figure. He's more of a symbol than a real person. His only motivation in movies is to save people and hang out with Lois Lane, I guess. It's like the bare minimum of what it takes to write a Superman story. He's not even a real person in these movies. He's completely unrelatable. This leads to the public thinking that he's boring. In actuality, Superman is a chill-ass dude.
Yeah,
He
look
grew
at
up
him. He's
as
like
a
doing the
normal
kissy
kid
face.
on this planet. It doesn't make sense for him to be this emotionless god because for all intents and purposes, he's just a normal everyday guy.
Yeah,
The Justice
he's
League
cool.
show does this the best.
This
In
is,
fact,
bro, the Justice League show, like this version of it. It's the 2001 Justice League show, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. They do all of the DC characters. Mwah, mwah, mwah. The original Giga Chad. Yeah, bro. He was like, bro, Superman is awesome, bro. Like, he's such a cool guy and he's so chill with everything. And like, yeah, he has a lot of power, but like, it's something he does actively work on because he's like, oh yeah, I have to constantly like make sure my powers are in check and like make sure I hold the interests of the people more than like what I would ideally like, you know? I was so surprised when I heard that like Barry Allen is actually supposed to be the Flash and not Wally West, because it's like, again, I grew up on this show and like they made Wally West so cool. I'm like, how can he not be the original Flash? What do you mean Barry was the original one? Wally is so cool. He's
really good
oozing with
stories.
charisma.
This is one episode where it's Superman's birthday. So Diana and Bruce go to his little ice
Yeah,
castle.
yeah.
And they find that he's in an alien
Oh, bro, this is a
parasite-induced
goated episode.
coma.
I love
He's trapped in
revisiting this
fantasy
episode.
world where he lives a lovely life on Krypton with a family and a good job, and then he realizes that it's not real, and you get this heartbreaking moment where he has to tell his son goodbye.
This is everything I ever wanted in a life. But I've got responsibilities,
That was such a heartbreaking scene.
Go now.
Oh.
Oh god. My little heart can't take it.
The only critique I have of that episode of Justice League Unlimited is that I wish that they just made like some sort of offhand comment that was like, parents from Earth, they're at home relaxing or something, because like in this dream sequence he touches a lot about like, you know, his original like parents and stuff, but had him say like, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna visit, you know, mom and dad Kent on Sunday or something. Just, he does consider the Kents as his parents. He does consider them as like his family and stuff. So I really wish that this episode kind of like touched upon that, but like I'm not gonna dig on that aspect of it too much because like, you know, again, I'm sure it was implied, but yeah.
Two-parter where in the first episode Superman is apparently killed and the Justice League has
This
to
was a
cope without
goated
him.
episode
They have to learn
too.
how to save the world when he's not around. But then in the second episode, you learn that Superman was just thrown into the distant future, a future where his powers don't work. So he has to go on this odyssey on his own to try and return to the present.
Goated
This show
episode,
is so
bro.
fucking
Goated.
good, guys. I'm serious. The thing
Yeah.
is, people just don't know that Superman is this relaxed,
He got
mellow dude.
coffee.
They think that Clark Kent views humanity as beneath him.
Nah.
Let's look at this scene from Kill Bill Volume 2.
A staple of the superhero mythology is there's the superhero and there's the alter ego. Batman is actually Bruce Wayne, Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker. And it is in that characteristic Superman stands alone. Superman didn't become Superman. Superman was born Superman. When Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. What Kent wears, the glasses, the business suit, that's the costume. Clark Kent is how Superman views us. And what are the characteristics of Clark Kent? He's weak. He's unsure of himself. He's a coward. Clark Kent is Superman's critique on the whole human race.
I think a better like example of that would have been Diane or Wonder Woman, because like Wonder Woman doesn't really have like a secret identity. Like, I know what he was trying to say in that scene in Kill Bill, but like she was the person who was kind of more like, she started off as Wonder Woman and then like, yeah, she sort of adapted a secret identity, not real, like, but that wasn't her, because like her secret identity was more just to blend in with like people, but like deep inside of her she is Wonder Woman. Well, like I feel like with Superman, like deep down inside of him, he's not Superman. He's Clark Kent, because he had to pretend like he died because someone put like a bomb in Clark Kent's car. So like his car like you know, got destroyed, and he had to pretend that like he was dead, like Clark Kent was dead. And during the episode, Superman, like he was with his parents at this point, and like they were like, oh well, since everyone thinks Clark Kent is dead, you might have to just be Superman from now on. Clark Kent, like Superman was literally like, if I stay as Superman, I'm literally going to go crazy. I do not want to stay as Superman. I want to be Clark Kent. I like being Clark Kent. So that's why I feel like deep down inside of him, he's Clark Kent. While like deep down inside Wonder Woman, she is Wonder Woman.
One of my favorite movies ever made, but this is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Clark Kent is not Superman's costume. He was Clark Kent before he was Superman.
Exactly,
He was a
exactly.
dude before he was an all-powerful demigod.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
had friends, relationships, he broke his heart. All of it happened on Earth. All before he started being a superhero full-time. And this is
Exactly.
his personality. He has a tender soul, and he's a human being before anything else. He doesn't save people because humans are weak and frail. He saves them because he has the power to, because he wants to. Superman is the costume that Clark Kent wears. Now, I
Exactly.
was out before Justice League came out, but I knew the Justice League was going to have some kind of effect. Now, I'm only going to talk about 2 scenes, so if you don't want any spoilers at all, skip to the time
Code here.
All right, spoilers, guys. It's 4 years. I think this video was made like 4 years ago. So like, if y'all didn't see it by now, well, that's your problem. Okay. To be fair, I didn't see it either. So
There's a scene in this
Yeah.
movie, which is obviously one of the scenes that Joss Whedon wrote, because I
can't believe Erie is giving me spoilers, guys.
Guys, let's cancel Eerie.
Let's cancel her because she's giving spoilers.
But he's read a comic book. In the scene, it shows Bruce talking to Alfred, or maybe Wonder Woman. I don't really remember, and I don't fucking
care. But anyway,
I
he's
don't
talking
care.
about how Superman's a good
Same,
guy,
bro,
how he should be alive,
same.
and leading the team because he's more human than Bruce is. In this little speech,
Yeah.
he mentions every single line that I wrote that I just said, how Clark is first and foremost a human.
Exactly.
He grew up on Earth, all that stuff. I wrote this script 3 days before the movie came out, so obviously someone's on the same page as me. However, the Superman that Bruce is talking about is not shown in this film. This is not the Superman that we see in this
That
movie.
sucks.
In the first scene of the whole movie, we see these kids approaching Superman as they record him on a non-Apple smartphone. Now, I'm not gonna
Non-Apple.
talk
Oh
about
my
his
goodness,
weird
imagine
CGI monster
Samsung.
face. A lot of people already talked about that. That's not the point of this video. My problem with this scene is more
That might have
about
been the
how
face Thunder
Superman's
was talking
acting.
about.
These kids are trying to talk to him because they look up to him. But the thing that I noticed was that Superman stays like 10 feet away from these kids. He stands there all stiff and
Nah,
motionless.
my Superman
Overall, he
would
looks
never
kinda
do
pissed
that.
off that
Never,
these kids are
ever.
even bothering him. The real Superman would actually engage with these kids. He might kneel down and actually talk to them.
Heck
Now,
yeah.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he doesn't get close to the kids because he had the weird CGI mustache face. Fine. But that's not the only problem that I have with this scene. The last
Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
thing the kids ask him is, what is your favorite thing about planet Earth? And when they ask this, Superman chuckles and he looks off to the distance. This is heavily implying
He
that he's
loves his
thinking about
mama's,
Lois Lane, because
freshly
Lois
baked
Lane's kind of
pies.
the main point of Superman's character in this movie. And that's the problem. In Superman movies, Superman only cares about Lois Lane. That's one of the reasons people can't relate to this guy.
That's because like everyone likes romance and stuff.
You can't have a character whose motivations are solely based around their love interest. Superman and Clark Kent as a whole should have lots of things they
Heck
love.
yeah.
It's his home.
Heck
It's
yeah.
not movies that are portraying Superman as a boring and emotionless goody two-shoes. Zack Snyder showed us a Superman that acts just like this. A Superman who is not fun to watch. Then in BVS, we have a Superman who, once faced with the death of dozens of people, which was entirely his fault, he flies away and hides from everyone.
Wow.
There are a lot of things about this movie that piss me off, but this is probably the number one thing. In Man of Steel, Superman kills Zod because there just wasn't any other way to stop him.
There's nothing he could have done.
Steel back in the day, I was fucking hyped because I could tell that they were taking some inspiration from All-Star Superman, which is my favorite Superman story. It's probably one of my favorite comic books ever made. It's a short alternate universe miniseries where Superman is dying of an uncurable disease. In it, he tries to come up with a way to either stop himself from dying or come up with a way to keep people protected while he's dead. It seems like a simple story, but the main concept is that of perseverance. How even when you're told there is no solution, no alternative path, no way to win, that in the end, there's always another way.
Heck yeah.
It's probably the most inspiring.
Also, I wonder what like the conclusion of this comic was. I never read it, so like I wonder like does he end up dying in this one, or like do they find a cure, or do they find like a replacement for him and he just loses powers? Like what
Always
happened?
another way. But what happens with this
Version of Clark Kent. He can't fix anything. He never finds any solutions to any of his problems. You're
Aw,
telling me he
man.
couldn't have done anything to stop Zod from lasering these people to death. Seriously? If you're strong enough to snap his fucking neck and leave a shockwave afterwards, then why don't you just aim his face somewhere else? You didn't even try. But it's not the same. Now, I was originally going to release this video last year, and it was going to be just about Batman, because I have a lot to say about how Mr. Bruce Wayne gets treated in these movies. The Ben Affleck Batman is way, way, way too mean. And trust me, I like when Batman is a mean guy. This Batman goes a little too far. What I mean to say is that he's actually
A single innocent person. A lot of people are now only
That's kind of funny.
in the crime fight.
That's kind of funny.
Wants to protect life too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Very soon.
Oh, bro, this scene was so good. It was so good.
Sorry.
Could you stay with me?
Oh, oh, this is such a sad scene. Oh. Bruce Wayne had to be with a girl on her dying moments, bro. That oh. I have two wolves inside of me. One comforts little girls before they die. The other one causes explosions and beats up random people.
Well, I perceive it as not him killing directly, but
No, he's not killing
the bad
directly.
guys are associated with a thing that happens to blow up. That's not really.
And influence
Yeah, it's not his fault they exploded. He just set the bomb there and had them all tied up, but they could have walked away anytime they wanted. They could have done that.
the villains that he faces are a lot meaner, a lot darker, and a lot more violent.
Yeah,
Yes,
where's
adjust
Terry
to this
though?
new world
Terry
of
could have
crime.
taken care of
This
him.
story was designed to bring Batman back to form, to make him a badass again after Adam West
Look
kinda
at
made him
look at his little face. He's like, "Eee."
a joke. The story explores extreme versions of Batman and Superman. Superman is a tool of the government, and Batman's more brutal and aggressive against crime.
Core inspiration for Batman v Superman. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that's just ripped directly from this comic.
Heck
But this
yeah.
should never be your first Batman story. This isn't a hero. He's an anti-hero. This is not how Bruce normally is, so why is this the version that we have?
Yeah, it's a deconstruction. Like a lot of these filmmakers, they read stories that are supposed to be a deconstruction of those of like the original story. That's like saying, the only magical girl anime I ever watched was Madoka Magica. Now I know exactly how a magical girl anime is. It's like, no. Madoka Magica is supposed to be a deconstruction of the magical girl genre. It's not supposed to be the rule. It's not the rule. It's the exception to the rule.
This story is regarded as the best in the same way that
Many people say Evangelion is the best mecha anime. If you watch Eva, you're still not getting a good representation of mecha anime. You're getting a dissection of those tropes. If you've never seen a mecha anime before, you can still enjoy Evangelion, obviously, but you're missing out on a lot of details that the creator put in. If this is the only Batman you know, you're gonna have a pretty messed up idea of what Batman is. So why are things like this? Why can't DC seem to get it right? Well, it's because of the studio and the creators. Talking about the fellas over at Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers doesn't care about superheroes. There's the whole incident with Ben Affleck leaving the solo Batman movie and that movie being delayed almost indefinitely because nobody wants to work on it. How the studio executive apparently said that they don't care if the movie was bad.
that sucks.
For WB to put out a Wonder Woman movie. They didn't even believe in their own property. Fucking forget the fact that she's a whole third of your iconic trio. Oh, we're actually names are some of those.
she's
Yeah,
gotten
I
it
don't
pretty
really
rough
know
in
her
the
lore.
But then Patty Jenkins, DC and Marvel are way different. Marvel characters see their powers as a curse, where DC heroes are born with them, or they cultivate them through training.
Well, Superman doesn't see his powers as a curse. He definitely does, like, sometimes see his powers as, like, a hindrance. When he fights villains, he always has to hold back, because if he goes all out, then that might cause more damage than, like, than, you know, the villain might actually do. So, like, he's always in this state of restraint, so it's, like, hindrances to his powers, like, you know?
Or something.
A Variety Hour on YouTube for more great content. I do like his content a lot. I think he has a lot of interesting views on like different like types of media. But yeah, check him out if you want like more cool videos.